If you are looking to start a high ticket dropshipping business in 2025, it is more important than ever to target customers that have necessary spending versus discretionary spending. If you've been following the markets and you've been following the news, it is no secret that the United States might be looking at a recession this year. Whether or not that's going to happen, I don't know. I'm not an economist. But what I do know is President Trump, whether you like him or not, is unpredictable, especially when it comes to this whole tariffs thing. And whether or not these are going to be used as just this ongoing bargaining chip, or if we're actually going to be looking at totally radical new tariff policies put into place that changes the whole global market. Either of those could happen, but what I do know is with this uncertainty, consumer spending is going to ultimately slow. That is what a lot of institutions are saying. That's what a lot of economists are predicting. And that is my prediction as well, just intuitively. And so what that means is people aren't going to be buying golf simulators for themselves. People aren't going to be buying hot tubs or saunas for themselves. But business has to go on. And businesses and even private citizens, if they need a product, in order to do something, to perform a task, to run their business or do their job, they're still going to have to buy it. Ultimately, it's a business expense for them, and it just comes off of their net profit at the end of the year. And in this video, we're going to talk about why it is so important to target need-based products, especially when economic uncertainty looms. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. If you are new, subscribe for the most up-to-date and researched information about high-ticket dropshipping from an active high-ticket dropshipper. If you are someone that is looking to do high-ticket dropshipping in 2025, and I think for anybody looking to get into e-commerce, it's a really smart route to go. I recommend checking out my program. The link is in the description below. There are no complicated funnels. You'll see the pricing. I either have an online course with an online community where my co-instructor and I show you step by step how to build a high-ticket dropshipping business. We actually show you an active business that Lisa and I are currently running that we build from scratch. And separately, I have a done-for-you service. So I have an online course and I have a done-for-you service where I, with my own hands and with my own knowledge, will actually build you your own high-ticket dropshipping business. I will choose your niche. I will get you the suppliers. I'll build your website. I'll do everything as if I'm building it for myself, and then I'll just hand it off to you. So if you have any questions about this, obviously reach out to me, but just want to plug this. Let's get into the matter at hand, which is uncertainty in the markets. We've obviously seen the biggest downturn in the S&P and the Dow since September of 2022. And what that actually means for the outlook of this year, well, we still don't exactly know. And a lot of this is going to ride on what President Trump decides to do with enforcing his proposed tariff policies. It kind of seems like he's not really flinching this time. They're not just this bargaining chip. And what does that mean for the markets? Well, it could mean a few months down the road, a really booming economy. It could mean if this actually works, which regardless of what his choice is, whether you support him or not, I want to root for America to succeed in whatever happens here. The ideal case, regardless, is America ends up with a good economy. And we maybe have our income taxes cut, whatever that looks like. I'm just hoping for the best. But as business owners, what does that mean for how we go about our businesses? If we're building a business, how does it affect the way that we think about going to market? I think especially in uncertain times with the economy, there is no more valuable thing than having your own means of income, something that you can supplement your own income for or with. Let's say you work in a sales job. Let's say you're a realtor, and a lot of your income depends on people buying things from you. Well, the great thing about high ticket dropshipping, and I'll get into what kind of products make the most sense in this kind of market in a second. The great thing about high ticket dropshipping is you don't have to run ads if you don't want to. You can build a revenue generating asset over the course of 6 months to a year, which that's kind of the timeline we're maybe looking at here to when these things are going to unfold in the markets and in the economy as a whole. You can just focus on SEO, which we walk through step by step in our program, to build something that just passively generates revenue. And because it's dropshipping, you don't buy inventory, you don't have overhead, you don't have risk. Really, all your expenses are the apps that you pay for. So Shopify, and SEMrush, because we use SEMrush when we choose niches. That's how we show how to do it. So then we get into what should you actually be selling in this type of situation. I think no matter what the economic situation, whether the economy is doing great, whether the economy is uncertain, whether we're in an economic downturn, something that remains certain is businesses and people that need products are still going to buy them. And that is why over the course of my high ticket dropshipping career, the biggest lesson that I've learned is it is so much easier to sell really expensive products to people that need them versus people that want them. It is way easier to compete because those types of niches are not sexy. They don't get a lot of attention, like massage chairs and golf simulators and all the things that I always talk about on this channel that other programs, for whatever reason, to this day still recommend. But you're never going to hear that from me. We are data driven with the way that we do things here. And the first principle that we start with is it something that somebody needs? Is it B2B? Is it a mix of B2B and B2C? That's kind of the ideal case. And then from there, we look at the data. Does it have low keyword difficulty across the board in SEMrush? Does it have decent search volume? And does it have large catalog potential? If it fits all three of those things decently, there's a really high chance of success in whatever niche that you choose in that situation. That's how I choose niches for my own businesses. That's how we recommend it for other people that do this themselves, that follow our instruction. And this is how I do it when I build businesses for other people. So why this is so important right now is, I already said it, businesses are going to continue to spend money because they have to. People that need products in order to perform tasks are still going to spend money because they have to. And, that stay-at-home dad or that dad of 4 that's 45 that loves golfing with his buddies that's been saving up for that golf simulator at home, he might have to wait a year or two and put that off and not spend that money right now because there's just uncertainty with the economic outlook. Consumer spending, discretionary spending just slows during economic uncertainty and economic downturns. And that's potentially exactly what we're looking at now. So there's no better time, there's no more important time to be really mindful about the type of industry that you target with high ticket dropshipping. And I'll go back to emphasize my earlier point. I think, especially in times like this, there's no more valuable thing that you can have for yourself than a revenue generating asset online to supplement your income, especially if you're in a role with unequal or unlevel income over the course of time, sales or realty or something along those lines. So if you're looking to get into high ticket dropshipping, and again, I think it is one of, if not the most reliable business models on the internet. And a lot of people, when they hear the word dropshipping, they have this recoil reaction to it. The word dropshipping is just ugly, and unfortunately it's been given a bad rap because when people think of dropshipping, they think of what people were doing back in 2020 and 2021 when people were just throwing up all of these really cheap gimmicky products on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. No data behind it. And because that got so saturated, and the reason it got so saturated is because everyone was using the same approach, the same suppliers using AliExpress, and just targeting the same audience on Facebook and Instagram, like these low intent people that you're just hoping buy on an impulse. Well, if everyone shares the same customer demographic, it's going to get saturated way quicker than someone in high ticket dropshipping that are specifically seeking out to buy these products. When you have an active buyer that is looking to buy whatever it is that you're selling, you don't have to convince them to buy the product in the first place. They're just looking for the right one at that point. And especially if it is a product that they need and you are going up against way fewer businesses in an industry like civil engineering, just as an example, compared to golf simulators where you're going to go up against 150 other online stores that are advertising these same products, it puts you in a much better situation. And again, there's data behind this of how we identify these niches. There's methodology. There's a clear direction of how we do this. So kind of going back to, I'll wrap this up here, going back to the original point. If you're doing high ticket dropshipping, there's no more important time than now to choose a need-based niche. And over the course of time, no matter what the economy does, you're going to have a much more stable source of revenue with this business model than if you're targeting something that requires discretionary spending from consumers. So, if you want guidance with this, if you want me to do this for you, I recommend checking out the link in the description below. And if you haven't already, subscribe for all high ticket dropshipping content. Let me know in the comments what it is you would like me to discuss in these videos. And really appreciate you guys sticking around if you're still watching at this point. So, we will see you guys in the next one.